Bonjour, everybody. Good morning. It is just after sunrise here in Paris, France, and this is the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. Look at this. Honestly, let's just take a couple of seconds because we're gonna move at rapid fire pace today. So let's just take a couple of seconds to look at this. Look at it, enjoy it, absorb it, soak it in. This is crazy. That is crazy. Do you know what that is? That is Le Château de la Belle Bois Dormant. Or, in English, Sleeping Beauty's Castle, or the Castle of the Beauty sleeping in the forest. People have different translations for it, but basically it's Sleeping Beauty's Castle. Now the castle at Disneyland is also Sleeping Beauty Castle, technically that's its name, and that's Walt's castle, so it'll always be my favorite. You know, it'll always be the one that's closest to my heart, but I'm really starting to agree with all of those people around the world that say this is maybe the most beautiful Disney castle in the world. Anyway, good morning. I just woke up over there at the Disneyland Hotel, having spent all day yesterday in the Louvre and all over central Paris, walking down Champs-Elysees and seeing the Arc de Triomphe again and all this crazy French stuff. And now I'm back over here at Disneyland Paris. It's crazy because I was just thinking about this. I saw maybe the world's most famous painting ever, you know, the Mona Lisa, just not that many hours ago. And now I'm standing here looking at and appreciating this, which was built in 1992. And I realize I either have a very wide-ranging taste in art, or maybe I just have no taste at all, so the fancy schnobs would say. I'm okay with either one. Look at this Main Street vehicle here. Anyway, super difficult to upload vlogs of any length or duration here, so I'm gonna have to move quickly. What I want to show you today is Fantasyland. We haven't got a chance to look much at the park. And first we're gonna have to walk through Le Château de la Belle Bois Dormant here. And yes, it's a very, very different castle. For one thing, there is a dragon's lair down there. A dragon's lair. There's a giant animatronic dragon in La Tanière du Dragon down there. But we really don't have time for the castle. We really don't have time for the castle. And by the way, I super filmed it already for Random Land. I don't want to give too much away. And I filmed a lot of secret, well not secret, but castle things for Random Land. Inside, two shops, and a whole upstairs. Basically, you know how Disneyland has the walkthrough of Sleeping Beauty, where you go and see dioramas? This has a huge upstairs walkthrough area as well, where you can go and learn the story of Sleeping Beauty via tapestries and stained glass windows. It's pretty amazing. Anyways, after walking through the castle, and yes, I know it's beautiful, and I know you want to see it. After walking through the castle, you are greeted with this. Fantasyland. 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 Look at it. Absorb this information, people, just like at Disneyland. You come through this beautiful, man, is it beautiful here. Look at it. I mean, this is just the prettiest place that you've ever seen. This is the prettiest place you've ever seen. After coming through there and coming out here, you're greeted with this, the most beautiful Fantasyland, I think, of all the Fantasylands. Now, of course, I'm always going to be partial to Disneyland at home, original Disneyland, and be a Disneyland person. I mean, I grew up there, and it's probably the best Disney theme park in terms of there's so much to do there. It's so densely packed. There's so much history there with Walt. There's so much creativity there, and it was the first in so many things. First audio animatronic show and all this crazy stuff. But really, honestly, Disneyland Paris is like my second favorite of the three Magic Kingdom parks that I've seen. You know, like Disneyland, then Disneyland Paris, and then Magic Kingdom in Florida, just because it's so breathtakingly gorgeous. Let's look up at the back of Sleeping Beauty Castle there. Isn't that amazing? As part of that walkthrough, you can actually go out on this balcony. It's beautiful. Anyway, over here they have, of course, Excalibur, the sword in the stone. Look at it. Oh, this guy's getting a fun pic. Look at him. He's taking a fun pic, a fun one. I don't have a lot of time to linger, so I'm going to give it a chance. He's taking a fun pic. Let's look at the inscription over here. Silla Qui something. I don't really understand what all this means, but I think a guy named Pierre stole this sword from a guy named Roy, stuck it in the stone, and if you get it out, you'll be the new Roy. So almost like if you get my Random Land hat, you'll become the new Tyler. If you get the sword in the stone, you become the new Roy, which is neat. That's probably not what it means. It probably means the same thing it means everywhere else. Look at that. Isn't it wonderful? Anyway, Fantasyland. Okay, beyond the castle and beyond some really crazy gift shops with some really cool stuff in it, this gift shop over here has Snow White's cottage. The whole thing inside is this La Carousel de Lancelot. I have no idea what that means. I do. It's Lancelot's carousel. So we have King Arthur's carousel, and then you have Prince Charming's in Florida, and here in Paris you have Lancelot's carousel. And I think that's because, was Lancelot French? I know he was hanging out at the round table, but was he actually French? I don't know. Now I want to know. And over here on the left, just like at Disneyland at home, Snow White. Blanche neige et les sept nains. Which I'm sure means something about Snow White, because that's her ride right there. It's almost exactly the same as the one in Anaheim, California. A little bit more elaborate of a roof to cover the queue line. But other than that, the design, the shape of it, very, very similar. And there, right there, did you see that? The evil queen was poking out that window just like at home. Do you see why I'm a little more attached to this version of the park than Magic Kingdom? It's just, it looks so much like home, but yet it has some elements of Magic Kingdom in Florida as well. Beyond La Carousel du Lancelot over here, you can see Sir Mickey's. So just like in Florida, they have a Sir Mickey's gift shop there with a Mickey and the Beanstalk theme, and there's the Beanstalk coming up there. There's all kinds of really good stuffed animals in here. Oh, and look at this. They have La Fontaine de Cendrillon. Cendrillon, c'était fantôme représentation in the classic de Walt Disney. It's Cinderella's fountain. Look how pretty she is. This version has this like crazy good patina on it and all the cute little mice. And look at her happy, beautiful face. Look at her happy, beautiful face. She's just so happy to be in Paris. I am just so happy. Look at that. I can't believe that. Look at that. A fun pic right there. Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay. So it has a lot of elements of Florida here as well as elements of Anaheim. Let's take a closer look at these carousel horses. Now you can see here, Lancelot's carousel is way more themed around jousting. At home, all the horses are white on our carousel per Walt Disney's request. And that's because in the United States, there's that whole trope about the Prince Charming coming in on his white horse and saving the day, so every horse was white to be the hero horse. Here, not so picky in France. I think the black and dark horses are popular as well because they are fighting horses. And in the middle, there's actually some smaller horses. So on the outside, the horses are bigger, brawnier, and more jousty. Again, you gotta figure, there's a lot of little cultural differences here because we're actually on the continent of Europe where all the jousting and the medieval knights and stuff used to be. And in a lot of these people's hometowns, they could just go see a castle in a real suit of armor that some homie actually, you know, fell off a horse in and all that crazy stuff. So they have to do things a little differently here. I know I'm going so fast and I really, really apologize for that. Hashtag sorry, not sorry actually. But it's because I gotta keep these short. I have to wake up every 30 minutes to reconnect to the internet in the hotel here just to get these vlogs uploaded, and they are taking an average of 400 minutes a piece. They start by saying 270 something, but then they go to 400. All right, I'm giving you a slight look around, just a slight short look around. Okay, so right here we had Snow White, Scary Adventure. Okay, so let's get reoriented. A lot of people walking around with headphones here, by the way, which is really weird. That's weird. I never see that in Disneyland. You see a couple of kids with earbuds. I'm a cool teenager. I'm too cool for jousting. But you never see people with the over-ear headphones. Anyway, okay, look. The castle here, and then when you walk in on your left-hand side, Snow White, just like at Disneyland. On the right-hand side, much more Magic Kingdom looking stuff. So let's continue down the left side over here. Beyond Snow White, you have what you have at Disneyland, which is Pinocchio. This Pinocchio ride's facade is so similar to the one at home that whenever I'm standing in front of it, I don't honestly know where I am. It takes me a second. Look at it. Just like at home, there's Pinocchio right there, and there's this crazy thing on the roof. They even have the stork holding the baby up there, all wild. Like Geppetto was like, I hope a stork visits me and brings me a baby. Little did he know, that's not how babies are made. And if you don't know how babies are made, I'll tell you, they're put together just like a puzzle. So he just had the totally wrong idea. And if it weren't for Stromboli's pretzel wagon out here, I would think that that was Disneyland. See the castle there? And then you got, what's his name? The little wooden boy? Pinocchio's ride right there. See Stromboli's wagon? That's so cool. What a cool little detail. Let's take a closer look at the detail. Stromboli's pretzel wagon, where they serve a delicious pretzel and a cup of something. Okay, Pinocchio. Pinocchio's Voyages, Les Voyages de Pinocchio. Les Voyages de Pinocchio. And this is almost exactly, just like Snow White, it's almost exactly the same dark ride as there is in Disneyland. Now, differences in Snow White, there's a crazy different ending. I posted an Instagram picture of it, and maybe we'll get a chance to do a vlog on the ride. I hope so. I'm running out of time here in France. There's a crazy different ending in that the last scene has actually a statue of Prince Charming and Snow White, and they're waving like, hello, we survived too. The witch didn't just die and it ended. We also got married and hugged, or whatever it is that they're doing. In this one, not really any difference, except for that both rides are in French. All the dialogue is in French. Other than that, though, pretty much exactly the same. The queue line is a little different on the inside, so it's set a little further back. See? Ooh. And that's because it actually snows here in addition to rains, you know. But otherwise, the outside is exactly the same. You'll see the same tower configuration at Disneyland. You'll see the same gift shop over here at Disneyland. Now, do you remember they had a Frozen meet and greet? It was in the Sometimes vlog. They had a Frozen meet and greet in Fantasyland at Disneyland for a while. And it was in a building just like this, and they had set up an Olaf on top of it. Well, here they have Geppetto's toy shop still in here. Now, when I was a kid, I always thought that next to the exit of Pinocchio was Geppetto's toy shop. I remember there being a Geppetto's toy shop my entire life, and there actually is one here. So I'm not crazy. After all, it really was here. Look, so when you exit Pinocchio at Disneyland, you look to your left, there's this empty building here that's used for I don't even know what at this point. And here it is still La Bottega di Geppetto. So, nice. Okay, so now we've entered the castle. We've gone past Snow White, we've gone past Pinocchio, and we are greeted with the sight of this. Look at this. You hit this fence here, and you're like, whoa. Dumbo the flying elephant right there, of course, looking magnificent, flying his little heart out. But just look at this landscaping. Look how elaborate everything is. Okay, let's start over here. I'm really trying to give you some long, good looks at it, even though we only have a few minutes and a lot more Fantasyland to go. This is, I don't know, a very extensive, huge Fantasyland. It's big. We might actually not see all of Fantasyland in this one vlog. I don't really know if it's actually possible to see it all, but we are going to do our best. Okay, continuing to the left, following our theme to the left of the castle, we've got, oh, what do we have? Oh yeah, we have a Chalet de la Marionnette. I'm not even trying. What am I doing? I sound like Hank Hill trying to speak Spanish. A Chalet de la Marionnette restaurant. Now this A Chalet de la Marionnette, so the place of the puppet, Pinocchio's restaurant over here, might look a little familiar to you. Hear the music? And that's because it's basically the Village Haas restaurant that we have at Disneyland, recreated just like at Disneyland, off the back of Pinocchio. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing? Look at it. It looks just like it. Now, we are here actually during extra magic hours, which are the hours that you come in before the park opens if you're a hotel guest. So a lot of the stuff is closed. There's actually maintenance workers still going around closing things like the trash cans. And so I can't show you the insides of certain things because of that. There's the entrance to Adventureland. Right over there would be Pirates of the Caribbean and where we were the other day, eating lunch. And here you go. So we've come this way. Just look at the scenery. I don't know what to say right now. I'm actually at a loss for words many times on this trip, which is super unusual for me. Anyway, crossing the bridge over this beautiful canal leading to Adventureland, and past Dumbo over there is this, Peter Pan's Flight. Weird, because in Disneyland, it would be over there where Sir Mickey's was and all that, but like Walt Disney World, they've actually moved Peter Pan away from the castle, which I think is good, because you can't have all the dark rides. At Disneyland, you have all the dark rides in that one kind of courtyard, and it's this crazy pinch point for dark ride fans. Anyway, over here you have Peter Pan's Flight. Look at that. The wait time is 5 minutes on it. Now, it's the same ride as at Disneyland, same ride as at Magic Kingdom. Split the difference between the two of them, and I heard this one's supposed to get the same upgrades that Disneyland has. As a matter of fact, I heard that Paris is getting a ton of upgrades because they're about to hit some big anniversary of theirs. They were done in 92, so it was built in 92, so 2017 will be its 25th anniversary, I think. I'm very bad at math, but I'm pretty sure that's it. All right, beyond Peter Pan, I'm going as fast as I can now, is this. Something super bangarang. Look at that. Toad Hall Restaurant. So at Walt Disney World, no more Mr. Toad dark ride, but here they do have Mr. Toad. Sadly, not a Mr. Toad dark ride though. This Toad Hall, although it looks just like our Toad Hall at home, looks just like the facade to our Toad Hall ride. Well, not just like, but very, very close. This is actually a restaurant. The inside of it is themed to be the interior of Toad's Hall over here, and over here the inside is themed around being Winky's Pub. But look at it, it's a much smaller, slightly less ornate version of the Toad Hall at home, and it is super awesome. I've always loved those Toad weather vanes, the ones of him driving the car all crazy and manic, merrily on our way to nowhere in particular, right gang? Look at this Toad weather vane up there. I've never seen that one before. If we have that one at home at Disneyland, I am super not aware of it. All right, at the very back of Fantasyland over here, beyond the castle, oh my gosh, look at the sunrise happening. Beyond the castle, beyond Dumbo over here, we've got this. Back there, the Fantasyland train station. Now, the Disneyland Railroad here, I'm trying to see if there's a way to come back and look at the Fantasyland train station because it's all closed. The Disneyland Railroad here. Oh, wow, there's all these nooks and crannies and restrooms and payphones and wonderful things hiding here. There's so much space here. The Disneyland Railroad, see there you go, Fantasyland station's hiding back there. It's under construction here. It's totally going refurbishment. So is the Mark Twain Riverboat and the their sort of Rivers of America equivalent, and Big Thunder, and a lot of stuff under renovation. But anyway, in front of that they have a Meet Mickey Mouse area where you can queue up and meet Mickey Mouse. That's very similar to Disney World's like tent area and that like Toontown thing they had. Now it's a circus. You know what I'm talking about. It's very early in the morning for me still. And then over here is maybe the most curious thing of them all. Behind Dumbo, behind Mickey Mouse, begins this whole area, and you wouldn't see it in this order if you were coming straight through the castle to the side. This whole area themed around Alice in Wonderland. Look at this. This right here is Alice's Curious Labyrinth. So it's an attraction that's not open yet in the morning. I think only Peter Pan's actually open in Fantasyland right now, other than Dumbo and the teacups maybe. This is an attraction which is actually a walkthrough attraction. Let's actually go to the front of it. A walkthrough attraction based on Alice in Wonderland, and it's the only thing I haven't done yet in the park here other than watch the shows. Look at the giant Cheshire Cat right there. Look at the giant Cheshire Cat. He's crazy looking. Anyway, there's a guy walking through, getting trash, inspecting it, looking at it. But you can basically get the gist of it here. There's all kinds of weird interactive things and things that move around. I'm dying. I'm dying of the awesomeness. While I'm dying, look at this. Look at that, right? Right? So anyway, you come past Carousel, come past Dumbo, come past all that stuff, bam. Alice's Curious Labyrinth right here. So there's all kinds of features and wonderful things happening there. It opens at 16 hours and 30 minutes, whatever time that is. I'm still having a lot of trouble with the times. Here's the white rabbit over here, he's right, and there's Sortie, which is very special. That means that's the exit over there. And up there you can see the king, and the king right up there on top of the Queen of Hearts. Crazy, crazy looking castle. Oh my gosh. Do you see this? A topiary! The most beautiful topiary of them all. It's tea-themed. A tea-themed topiary. Are you kidding? Do you see? He doesn't care. He's not impressed. He works here. Let's hope. Oh, I touched it. I touched a tea-themed topiary. Look at this. And they have this photo shoot area over here. Look at the mouse. Look at the mouse of the teapot. Well, wow, his head turns. Well, aren't you cute? Look at this little guy. Look at this little... Let's take a fun pic together, huh, little mouse? I'm sorry about that. Let's take a fun little pic. Hey, fun pic! Anyway, you can be in the tea party yourself. Here's the Mad Hatter's hat. You can sit down and really get a fun one. Oh, you can really get a fun one here. Oh, let's do this. You can really take a fun one. Fun pic! You can really get a fun pic over here. Sit in this chair, which is for Alice. Now, it really looks like this is probably, or at least at one time was, a character meet and greet. Maybe not just a photo shoot, because there's this little entrance and exit right here, which is only for cast members. But anyway, across from it is this, the March Hare refreshment stand area. And look, inside, the mouse again. But a much bigger, creepier Chuck E. Cheese-ish version. Hey! Well, I guess he's shy or something. I took an Instagram picture through that fence the other day. That's the entrance to the teacups over there. of this area, look at these cool chairs. Like, I just want these chairs and stuff. Isn't this awesome? If you're a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, and I know many of you out there are, if you're a big fan of Disney's Alice in... Hey! Hey there, fuzzy guy. Are you feeling a little asleep? Whoa, look at his eyes. What's he drinking in there? Huh? What's he drinking? All right, this might run a little long, so I have no idea how or when this will get uploaded, but I'm just gonna keep on going. I can't stop looking at him though. Just look at him. What's he doing? You never know what he's doing back there. Look, they notice. They notice. Anyway, okay. The March Hare refreshment stands. So this area, very heavily themed towards Alice in Wonderland. As you can see over here are the teacups. So right on the other side of this hedge over here is the teacups, and we will pass those again. So they're covered like at Disney World. They have a similar, I've been in France too long, a similar paint job as at Disney World. So just to get your bearings, back over there, Toad Hall, Castle, Snow White, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Peter Pan, Toad Hall Restaurant, train station, Alice's Curious Labyrinth. So this is about where, if you're looking at Disneyland, go through the castle, go all the way back behind the carousel, and hit the Storybook Land area. That's about where this would be. Storybook Land, Dumbo-ish area. That's where Alice's Curious Labyrinth would be. So one attraction I haven't done yet. Okay, now for the very back of Fantasyland. Ooh, and look at that. Teacups over there. Like I said, roofed like Disney World. But look at this. Look at how elaborate the fountain area is. Just all these little water features, the bushes. And remember, this is winter. So a lot of these plants are dead or in their winter mode or not at their most lustrous in terms of like foliage-ness. But look how beautiful it looks out here anyway. I mean, granted, this is France, and they've had literally 1,000 years of perfecting gardens here. And gardening is very masculine here, by the way. It's like more of a, and culturally, you know, we think of gardening at home, you think of the little old lady in her floppy hat. Like here, gardening is like this very masculine art form that's been perfected over thousands and thousands of years. And it shows at Disneyland. I mean, Disneyland's probably a poor example compared to the gardens of Versailles or something like that. But I mean, coming from Anaheim, California, which is a tropical Mediterranean type climate, not tropical, but you know what I mean. This is very impressive. It's winter and they managed to do this. What the heck is your problem, Northern California and Oregon and etc.? You know what I mean? Like, we got to look into getting some of these plants that grow in the winter over here. Okay, now back here, and I can't go back there, and this guy might admonish me in French if I try. Pigeons! I've never seen a pigeon before. That's amazing. Just kidding. I might get admonished if I go back there. Back here is the Casey Jr. Oh, we got a sign. Casey Jr. Circus Train and Les Pays des Contes de Fees. I don't know what that literally translates to, but it's Storybook Land canal boats. So the canal boats of Storybook Land are right down there. I don't know if you can see the cast members are on a rotating platform where the boats go around. So a much more efficient loading system than Disneyland. And then the Casey Jr. Circus Train is down there as well. Apparently those open a little later than the rest of Fantasyland. And so we're going to have to wait until 9 hours and 30 minutes, which is 9:30. So that one makes sense to me. 9:30 to see it. Now over here is something though that I really want you to take a look at. Now this is very cool. For any of you who are Disney fans, and by Disney fans I mean of Walt Disney, of the company, of the old school original animations, or of just animation history, you'll really appreciate this. Are you recognizing this yet? Not the music. The music is the Gaston song, which is awesome and very France appropriate. The first Beauty and the Beast reference I've actually heard. But no, this right here. Do you know what this is? This is the coolest thing, maybe. Like, in terms of like a tribute to Walt and a tribute to those early animators that really, really created this company. This is one of the coolest things. It's the Old Mill. Now, the Old Mill was a film made by Walt and his friends. You know, his buddies that worked for him and got paid. The Old Mill was, I think, the first multi-plane camera film. So if you go back, I'm pretty sure it'll be on YouTube, and Google The Old Mill, you will not be disappointed. It was a revolutionary, groundbreaking technological achievement of its day. That was the multi-plane camera where they could take all those 2D animations and zoom through them and see all this crazy stuff. If I'm not getting all my facts jumbled up by being on another continent and getting up really early in the morning, and by the way, it's freezing out here. If I'm not getting all my facts completely jumbled up, that is what that was the first multi-plane camera short film, and it was all in color and it was very beautiful. It's a total mood piece. You would not see a company like Disney making something like that today, because they would go, how do we merchandise that? And so I don't know that it was super popular in France or whatever, or popular enough. And by the way, just let's look towards that Alice in Wonderland theming area. It's basically like a little mini Alice in Wonderland land over here. Fantasyland is nuts. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. I don't know if that was so popular over here or just the animators finally had a chance to put something awesome in, but they did. These people are all queued up for a princess meet and greet behind it in the Princess Pavilion. I just want you to look over here at the scenery. Oh, and there are ducks here. Apparently Disney ducks are an international phenomenon. Look at this topiary. Look at this topiary creation. Right here, we have... It's weird, there's Irish people. I understood what they were saying. Right here you have a sea monster. Now look at this. You recognize the shape of that sea monster? Where do you recognize the shape of that sea monster from? Huh? 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 Also, here's a stroller parking area, and look at the cute little sign. Look at the little hidden Mickey? Hidden Mickey? No, it's not hidden. It's right there for everyone to see. But look at the little Mickey, and look at the pixelation. I've never seen a sign with pixelation like that. It's not very pixel. It's okay. Come on. They're just trying to be funny, but then it sounded like I was being negative. Look at the trash can design. Have you ever noticed the trash cans at Disney have a different design depending on where they are in the parks? So I guess I'll show the Fantasyland trash cans here. There are literally some Disney fans. Some of you are thinking, what the heck are you doing showing your trash can? There are some Disney fans who would really appreciate that. Okay, I gotta move faster. There's a Princess Pavilion, so there's all the princess meet and greets going on here. Here you have a crocodile topiary, I believe. He looks like the crocodile from, or the alligator, whichever way you want to slice that. He looks like the alligator from Robin Hood, the Disney Robin Hood. Kinda to me, but I don't know that that's what that's supposed to be. And right here we have, oh, construction. This is undergoing refurbishment right here, but if you couldn't have guessed from the view that we just had over here, that is the Disneyland Paris It's a Small World. And I can actually see guys behind these trees up there, up on the terrace of it, working their little hearts out on It's a Small World. I am super bummed out about that. I don't know that if it's undergoing a Christmas refurb or what's happening. There's a gelato stand over there and not much else. That leads towards Discoveryland, which is Disneyland Paris's version of Tomorrowland. I don't have a lot of time to waste looking at or regretting It's a Small World, but I really wish I could have ridden that, because it looks super beautiful and colorful. The facade is outside like ours, which is awesome. I don't know if the Disneyland Railroad goes through it or not. I can't see because both those things are closed. I'm guessing that it does. But their version of Small World is closed right now, undergoing refurbishment towards their anniversary or towards whatever it is. So a lot of people are going to say, well, it's not super original looking because it's so colorful. Actually, Mary Blair's original concept for the outside of It's a Small World at Disneyland, it was supposed to be colorful like that. What they realized was that if it was going to be outside in the bright Southern California sunshine, 365 days a year, we get an average 300 days of sunshine out of those 365, that the paint was going to be constantly fading. So to save money, they just made it white on the outside with gold leaf, which never fades or tarnishes. It just needs to be replaced every once in a while. And that's why our Small World is white and gold, and our gold is literally gold leaf. But here they've stuck more with Mary Blair's original version, all colorful, and it really fits in here well like that. Anyway, look at this. Over here we just have a hill. That's a hill covering up some backstage areas. And look how elaborately topiaried it is. And this is what I'm talking about winter. You can see in here, plants are a little bit dull and dim. And I'm sure that those are all flowery and beautiful in the spring and the summer. Over here, and the exit area for the teacups. Let's get a closer look of those, at those right here. So just like every other Disney park that I've ever been to, Magic Kingdom style park, teacups. You can see they're a little bit more like the Walt Disney World ones than ours in terms of paint theme and the roofedness to prevent snow from getting in your cup and water from filling it up. You don't want to fill up your teacup with water. But look at this. We're inside of this willow tree, question mark? I don't know what kind of tree this is. I don't know, but it looks like a normal willow tree. It's beautiful. This whole place is beautiful. Look at the swans there, topiary swans. Just look at that. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that in your life? There's this weird caterpillar thing coming down to take a drink from the pond. Do you see that? Topiary caterpillar right there. so many details here. It would take a long time to absorb them all. This Fantasyland is quite large, quite extensive. I feel like it's much better laid out because it was more well planned than Walt Disney World's, which is a similar size, but it's laid out so strange because of the way they expanded it. There's all these little stands with lemons. Are those lemons? Are there lemons or limes or something growing on this? Oh, they're not growing on it. It's phony. It's a phony tree. And a brave little tailor shop right here with clothes and Sir Mickey's boutique. And so we're back all the way full circle through Fantasyland. So there you go. Fantasyland, Disneyland Paris style in just about 30 minutes. This is gonna take a lifetime to upload. I don't know that you're gonna see, you might be seeing these vlogs while I'm flying back to California for all I know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little beautiful look. In here, a crazy gift shop full of little things. I hope to be able to film more vlogs here and do stuff. I really want to come back to Paris as soon as humanly possible. I don't know when that'll be. Oh look, real princesses. With their fancy clothes and their tiaras and their bodyguards over here that look like they want to punch me. I'm just kidding, I'm messing with you, I have no idea. All right, Lancelot's Carousel, there it is. And back over here, Sleeping Beauty's Castle. Sleeping Beauty's Castle. Now, if you ask me really nice, even though I filmed a whole random land about Sleeping Beauty's Castle and showed it in much better detail and much more edited fashion, if you ask me really, really, really nicely, I won't go through the whole walkthrough or anything. I won't go through the inside of it, but I might be tempted to show you the dragon. Just real quick, even though it's a spoiler. Anyway, okay, so you go out the front of the castle and you go underneath, and there's an entrance to the dragon's lair, but we're not doing that. We're going out the side, take one last look. It's the most beautiful Disney castle. All right, we're gonna go this way, back out to the hub and back out to Main Street, okay? We're going through the side of the castle. Isn't it beautiful? France is so beautiful. Wait a minute, what's that? What is that? Oh no, our way is, this way's roped off. We can't go that way, which means we'll have to go through here. Okay, I'm running out of time. There's no time to be funny. Hello, bonjour. I keep forgetting I'm in France. I keep saying hello, and people look at me like, what's your problem? Oh my gosh. Look at that. Above us is Sleeping Beauty's castle. And down here is a giant, creepy beast. There are French children saying things to him. I'm not sure that's a good idea. It doesn't seem safe. My first look at this, I filmed on Random Land, so you'll see that very soon. All right, guys, it's time to go. Say goodbye. Adieu, Mr. Dragon. Adieu. Au revoir.